Welcome back to the channel, guys. Got right to work and installed these sick stealth mirrors on the S1000, along with these turn signals that plug right into the original mirror spots. Now I got this piece and the windshield to put on, and then the front is complete. You guys were right, the stealth mirrors on this bike look so good. And fantastic news, I just received some news from Dan at BMW Motorrad that the throttle cable will be in here in a few days. But in the meantime, now that I have front and rear turn signals and mirrors, I can get this bike inspected. So I'm actually gonna do my research on that carbon wheel and see if I can figure out any resolution to that. Also gonna be waiting for that throttle cable, which I know you guys are ready to see. So we'll cut to that when it gets here. Change of plans, the inspector is actually going to show up tomorrow morning to inspect this bike so we can rip it once we get that throttle cable. So we'll see you tomorrow morning. And just like that, guys, the bike has been inspected, passed inspection, and the officer even gave you guys a little light show. But now all we're waiting is that throttle cable, which is supposed to be in here tomorrow, so we'll catch you then. Guys, no way. The part is finally here. I can't freaking wait to open this thing up. Oh! All right, guys, check this out. We got the throttle cable in, the new one, routed correctly all the way to the ignition on that side. Now, as you can see with this replacement throttle cable, the wire colors, like a red and gray right here, is the same on this side. There's a red and gray right there. So this is a perfect match, and I'm confused why the factory one comes with different colored wires on the connector side and the throttle side. I guess my point is, why does the factory cable not match the factory harness, but the replacement cable matches the factory harness? But now let's put this bike back together and fire it up. Here it goes. All right, moment of truth. All right, start her up. Nothing. Nothing. All right, guys, we got everything taken apart. Let me show you the mistake I made. So first off, check out how this original throttle cable from the wrecked bike is actually one piece. I just super glued it just for this demonstration. Here's the motherboard on the throttle itself. Now the throttle broke, but let me just put it back just for demonstration purposes. This wire is just the heated grips. You turn the throttle and there are metal plates on the back of the throttle that sense over the motherboard, causing the throttle to give the bike gas. And the connection is one solid piece of plastic all the way up to this connection right here. Now, let me show you the throttle I ordered. The throttle I received on the parts, forks, and triples is actually a different throttle. This type of throttle has a connection on the backside, which you plug this cable into just like this. And then this plugs into the actual ECU of the bike, allowing you to give the bike gas whenever you turn the throttle. Now, I did some research online, and apparently my bike came with this throttle, the one that is actually one solid piece of plastic and there's no in-between cable like this one. So when I plugged in this throttle with the new cable, which I was waiting for, nothing happened because it's the wrong throttle. I need to order a new full throttle assembly from BMW. And then it will slide right on the handlebar, plug in, and then it should be good to go. I guess third time's a charm with this bike, but now let me give you a full price breakdown of the BMW. So, starting with the bike cost me $12,228, and that was with the bike and fees included. Next is how much I spent on parts. Now, I bought my parts from eBay and BMW Motorrad, which is parts basically from Germany or a Motorrad dealer in the States. So I spent on eBay $7,427.64. And my most expensive part, I bet you guys can already guess what it is. It was the complete triples and fork set, which was $4,200. Now, an OEM fork from BMW is over $2,000, which is insane. And I got all that stuff, including the triples and the grips and the levers. Now the levers, oh my goodness, dude, the levers on these things are almost $500. So that was insane. So then from BMW Motorrad, I spent $2,367.84. So now a grand total on the bike, which is gonna sound absolutely insane. I spent $22,023.48 on this BMW. Yes, I can already see you guys saying you could have just bought a brand new one, spec'd it out, and had a brand spanking new. I've said it before and I'll say it again, you can't buy experience. But in the meantime, I actually have to fix the connector on my ignition. This is what it's actually supposed to look like. BMW loves using these connectors. They're all over the bike. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap all the pins from this original connector over to this extra connector that I have now and plug it into the ignition. The last lead to go into the bad connector. Here is the last lead to go into the good connector on the ignition side. And this pink tab is actually what locks it in place. So push down on the pink tab and slide this whole thing over. Boom. We'll do the same on the other side. Pink tab over. Locking it into place. And look at that, now we have a brand new connector on the ignition side, which will secure it with these locking tabs on the side, which I didn't have on the bad connector. In the next video, I do have a surprise on the way, but I can guarantee at the end of that video, I will show this bike starting and being driven for the first time. I'll also be sure to give you guys updates on the carbon wheel, the exhaust, and of course the throttle. Most importantly, as always, to God be the glory for this build. And now for some more bonus content. See ya.
The Ducati has been sold.